Hi folks, it's Danny at Bradley James Classics, and I'm bringing you today a very nice example, I think, of a Land Rover Discovery. This one is from 2003. It's therefore the Discovery 2, and it's the ES model, which is a top-of-the-range version with lots of nice extra kit, which we'll run through as we walk around the car. And the car itself has covered 136,000 miles. It didn't have any advisories from its last MOT, and interestingly, when you look back through its life, it doesn't have ever had any advisories regarding corrosion, any sort of structural corrosion, which sadly these old girls do tend to suffer from. And in fact, there's some nice receipts that demonstrate the car has been well looked after. In fact, the story I'm hearing is that the gentleman that traded the car in with us for one of our classics tells me that he bought it from a gentleman that had really sort of industrialized it, because he used it every day for work. And in fact, the last MOT, leading up to that MOT, it managed to actually do 21,000 miles in that year. So yeah, quite impressive. Happy to tell you that the car has literally in recent weeks been fully serviced. That's included a cam belt. It's also been treated to some very nice quality Yokohama tyres, which are all terrains. Let's get in closer, you can see. And of course, being a full set of tyres, that would have cost a pretty penny. And there we are, the one on the back as well. You won't be surprised to hear that it's got a tow bar, and it looks to have both towing plugs fitted to the back, so it looks suitable to take a caravan as well. Now this is a facelift model, and the facelift models did have a few visual upgrades, including these high-level lights with these surrounds. We've got parking sensors on this model. There's running boards. There's tinted glass. I've got to say, it does look very grand in this lovely dark blue colour. Alloy wheels, and it's the facelift model that has the they call them pocketed headlamps. Also, compared to previous models, they're more colour coded. Now you might notice the fact that the car's been given a good valet, and a part of that good valet is that the front number plate was a little cracked, so we've decided to treat her to a new one. So at the moment, no front number plate, but that will be rectified very soon. The car was quite clean when it came into us, but we have given it a good clean now, ready for today's video. And I wanted to show you inside the car and maybe a slow walk around. Let's start with a slow walk around. It's quite a bright day today. I hope you're able to pick up everything on the screen okay. So I'm going to be looking out for sort of dents and imperfections, and if I start from this offside rear corner, this is all in good shape. There's no sort of serious damage here at all. I can't see anything in the way. I've got some sort of marks which would possibly polish out. You can see something here, but that's not broken the paint. There's some discoloration here to the wheel arch, which I'm pretty certain would look good if it had some sort of back in black, I think it's called, silicone on it, but we don't go too crazy when we do them. They do tend to suffer. They have these little inserted bits of chrome, and then sometimes it goes rather dull like it has here, but of course I'm getting in very close to see that, and as you step back that doesn't look so bad. The doors are both in good order on the offside, as is the front wing. That looks pretty good. We have a bit of lacquer peel on the bonnet, which I'm going to show you in a moment. This front bumper is in really good order. It's got these screws on them here. This was to put light covers on, which have been taken off because, to be honest, they weren't in great order, so they've been removed. Quite a handsome front end on the Discovery 2 facelift. We've got a nice condition alloy wheel. I think we've discussed the brand new tyres. Now we've got some, they do suffer a bit of lacquer peel. The only bit on the whole car that I've noticed, there's a bit of lacquer peel over here, I'm afraid. Now that could be dealt with, but at the moment we've left that bit of lacquer peel as it's the only bit on the car. And if it was a showstopper, I feel sure we could plug you into our paint chap, and for not very much money that could get rectified. But we're selling as is because this is a trading car that's coming to us in good condition, and to be honest with you, all we've needed to do is give it a good clean. This one's going to be really good value because I've noticed that the price of the Discovery 2s seems to have well, they seem to be going up in value. I don't know if that's a fair observation that you as the viewer have noticed as well. And we're going to be sensible with this because the way we value our trading cars, quite honestly, is what we allow for them when we sell them. So this will be pitched, I think, at the right end of the market to get a good value one, considering this is a ES model with all the toys. Having just been fully serviced, all fluids and belts. I know the brakes pads, I think I'm told, were done on the back, but there is a nice history file with it as well. So when we look inside, because it is an ES model, we'll see that we've got these nice suede inserts, which are really nice. We've also got the perforated leather trim, which is rather nice. It's an automatic, and it's a 4-speed automatic, and these are a straight 5 TD5 engine. All these seats are piped in dark blue. Being the ES model, it's the fancy model, so we've got things like electrically controlled seats. They're heated seats. This one's got a rather nice a Sony stereo in it, which is also a digital radio, and it looks to have a Bluetooth connection, and there's a microphone up there. I think I mentioned the twin sunroofs. We've got the upgraded speaker system, so there's extra speakers and tweeters, carpet match front and rear, and you've got a nice light leather interior in here. And here's the front and rear sunroofs, which are electrically operated. Got a nice huge boot area in these, as you'd imagine. There's a few parts in this box in the corner, and here are your fold down rear seats, which, because of the bulge in the headlining, you can actually get 7 adults in these. A very impressive load space. You've also got the roller which comes over the back, and being the ES model, you can plug headphones in here and control the audio from back here. That's a feature of this model. And I seem to remember there's a subwoofer speaker built into the back here as well, so quite comprehensive. It's a nice carpet under here, but this has got the Land Rover fitted rubber mat over. So you've got, even with the seats, which are tucked either side, you've still got pretty huge boot space. Let's shut that door up. And let's have a look at what the driver sees. So nice condition on this door card. In fact, the car is, considering these are usually a good family car or rugged use for off-road use sometimes, I don't think this one's had such a hard life because it really has kept in good condition. I'm going to slip inside and I'm going to tell you a little bit more information. I've made a few notes here about this particular version of the Discovery. So I think we've established that it is a 2003 Series 2 version of the Discovery, and the TD5 engine with a 4-speed automatic gearbox. Now, what they did with the second version of Discovery, they made it a lot bigger, and they also greatly improved its on-road capabilities and off-road capabilities with some new technology. Now, we've got hill descent as standard. There is also a very famous sort of air suspension, which it makes it a pleasure to tow with it, because it's self-leveling rear suspension. So as you put more weight on the back, the airbags get pumped up to give you that nice level ride. And by the way, there's no warning lights here. The air suspension system is working perfectly well. It hasn't been converted to springs or anything, so that works very nicely. They also, well, this particular model as well does still have diff lock, because I think when the Discovery 2 come out, because they had sort of replaced it with traction control and this hill descent, they felt that the diff lock was unnecessary. But in higher spec models later on, I think it was available as standard on the higher models or as an option on the lower models, and I'm happy to say this one does have it. It does have 2 keys with it, this vehicle. It has got remote locking, and to run through some of the specification, I think I've mentioned the self-leveling suspension. You've got 2 sunroofs, and these are not leaking. Now, anyone who knows their Land Rovers Discoveries, I'm afraid they do have a little bit of a reputation for leaking from the sunroof, but not the case with these. These are both in good order, and you can see a little from what the seats look like and then through into the back. And you see those fold down headrests, which are right at me, but sort of up on the roof. Very light and airy because of it's a nice light colour interior. But of course, with all this glass in as well, you've got excellent visibility with a commanding position to drive these cars. You have cruise control with this model, which I want to verify. There we are. It says set here, so that must be what the cruise control is. We have climate control down here, and I have tested it, and the air conditioning is working. It was blowing out nice cold air. We've discussed the electric seats, which, there we are, there's the controls down here. I think I mentioned as well that we've got electric heated seats. That's what these buttons are down here. 7 seats, a heated front windscreen, which was a quite frankly a brilliant invention. The side steps we know about as well. Traction control we've discussed, the hill descent, but also the electronic brake distribution. You've got excellent brakes on these cars. And also the way these corner, they've got active corner handling, which does eliminate a lot of the roll that you often get with a 4x4. So I just really want to recap that I've mentioned everything about this vehicle. We've discussed that it is the 2.5 TDI engine, which is a 5-cylinder engine. It's not a BMW engine, for those who insist it is, because there's a bit of an urban myth about BMW being the designer of that engine. I can confirm to you that it actually derives from the Rover L series engine, and it's highly successful. And in fact, people who know the TD5 engine will recognize the fact that it has more usable torque than the predecessor, which was the pretty much well-loved 200 and 300 TDI engines that were fitted in various Land Rovers. So the TD5 is well-loved. It does go well, and in fact, you've got better fuel economy as well. The stated figures is that you should be able to do 27 miles to the gallon, which is quite remarkable if you can in a big, heavy 2.2 metric ton car. But that's what my research tells me. But being able to tow a 3.5 ton brake trailer is pretty wonderful. These vehicles are 135 brake horsepower, 98 miles per hour top speed, which I wouldn't be recommending driving everywhere at 98 miles an hour in one of these, I've got to tell you. And this is a real nice example. Drives really well. I think the fact that it's had a set of brand new Yokohama tyres, all-terrain tyres, means you can do a little bit of on and off-road use. I think it makes the car drive really well. She starts on the button. This car has had extensive recent maintenance work with a full service in cam belt. The rear brakes I know were done, so it doesn't want for anything. And the vehicles that leave us will always go through our own workshop, and we're able to ensure that the vehicles are ready to go. So let's just sort of finish off having a quick look round. And by the way, these are the speakers. They're here, they're down in the door. It's a very good sound system in these, as you'd imagine, with all those speakers. I'd like to describe the car as in very good condition. However, being getting on a bit now, so what is this, 16, 17 years old? The areas that I would point out is this missing area of lacquer in this corner. It's the only place I could find where the lacquer had peeled off. I know these cars do suffer from that. There's a seat belt coming. There is see this chrome, or this insert here, that sort of loses its brightness at the back there. That it kind of suffer from that. But this side of the car, as I walk around, does look to be in real nice order. I can't see any damage on these bumpers. We've got the rear parking sensors that I mentioned. If I get up here, if I'm being really fussy, I've got a bit of a minor scuff here, but I am being fussy because as I step back, that's very tough to see. It does present really well. I'm very conscious that these vehicles, especially the high spec ones, can be rather dear, but this one is going to be very good value at the price point we have it at. It's worth pointing out that you've got some discoloration generally in this side insert. I feel sure that these are probably available. There are some marks on the bodywork here, but again, I'm pretty certain that a decent machine polish would probably take. It looks like it's probably just been caused by going past a bush or something, but it has cleaned up very nicely. The wheels are in good condition, and of course there's 5 of those. So, and it's got rather a long MOT right through to January 2022. The tax on these are £330 a year, so it's not cheap, but thankfully it's not the highest range bracket either. Well folks, that's about as much as I can possibly tell you about a TD5 Discovery 2 facelift from 2003. She's in stock now. She drives really well, no known issues, no warning lights. She starts on the button, and is actually a pleasure to drive, very clean under the engine as well. Yeah, she's in stock. Please let me know if you'd like to come and have a drive. You'd be welcome to come and see her. We do offer a part exchange service, bearing in mind we are a classic car dealer, so the older the better with us, but I do appreciate with modern cars we often get a modern car as a trade-in, but we're happy to accommodate that as well. We do sell some commercial vehicles and 4x4s. We're based out in the countryside here, so they're actually quite popular around here, and I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up being a local car. Don't worry about the missing front number plate. That will be fitted as soon as it arrives from our supplier. And well, thank you for watching almost 20 minutes of a walk around video for this Land Rover from 2003. Thanks folks, it's Danny at Bradley James Classics signing out.